Hello.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. So, yeah, everybody's watching your view. It's amazing.
All right. Well, hello. Okay, I don't see anybody of you. That's a problem. Okay. Well, hello. Let's see if you guys can see me. I don't see you guys. Is there a technical issue here?
We can see you for sure. We can see your beautiful view. I just have to ask our camera people if they can show us. I think the camera, yeah, in a minute we'll get our camera person to.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let me know when you want me to start.
Yeah. So this is Dr. Alex Jones. Dr. Alex is an assistant professor of leadership, organizational behavior, strategic management, and entrepreneurship from the College of Business Administration at the American University in the Emirates, Dubai. So we did not imagine a university providing such a beautiful background. So Dr. Alex, if you're ready, please proceed with your presentation.
All right. Well, thank you. I wish universities around the world can provide their faculties with such a beautiful view. But hello, Oman, and hello, Omanis. And I got to tell you, you guys are having a special place. Oman have a special place in my heart, and I really mean it. And I got to tell you guys, Omanis, you're here in my heart. And there is really a long history working with Oman since the year of the 2006 and 2007. You were talking early morning about reading program and literacy. I got to tell you, I worked with the Ministry of Education back in the days to implement a pilot project, 1,000 schools back to Oman. There was a wonderful question that was raised a while back by one of the audience asking about how are we going to handle the resistance of people? And that brings my presentation to you guys. Well, here it is. Here is the issue. Robots don't fight. We don't know yet. The idea behind it exactly is not explored. Conflict happens in our daily life on constant basis, right? But before I get into the nitty-gritty of everything, my name is Dr. Alex Jones. I am the assistant professor of leadership, organizational behavior, strategic management, and entrepreneurship. I'm also a certified coach and a trainer on leadership, certified by the John C. Maxwell. And I'm also the writer and co-author of one and only title in the world titled This Leadership. So all the way here, my hometown is in San Diego, California. I'm here working in Dubai at the moment. And I got to tell you guys, start this session with a beautiful vibe. I know you guys have been exhausted, but I'm going to make it enjoyable to you. I wanted to fly in Oman, and I apologize. And hopefully next time I'll be guys with you face to face. Now, before we start this session, I want you to tell yourself, I am awesome. Not me, you. I want you to tell yourself, I am awesome. And I want to hear the crowd. All right. I'm assuming that you guys said it. But
we are awesome.
Okay, good. And if you said it to yourself, I want you just to talk to the person next to you, turn to them and tell them you are awesome, left and right, behind and front. Tell them you are awesome. I want to hear the cheer in the crowd. Come on, guys. All right, I'm assuming you guys started it. Okay, well, let's talk about here, start our session with a conflict management. I want you to look at this quote, all right? Take a breath, inhale, and then exhale, and then read this quote. It's our decision, not our condition, that determine the quality of our life. John C. Maxwell. COVID-19, everybody is talking about it. We're tired, we're hearing it in the news, and the reality of the fact, guys, we can't control anything that is external. It is environment. This is beyond our control. So we can only control our decision, and that determines our quality of life. And we all need a quality of life. And I can see all of you guys over there. You guys are awesome. And I can see you. Thank you very much for the cameraman. Now, conflict. is defined as a friction, as a touch. It happens between all of us. And we're talking earlier this morning about the Omani's framework. We're talking about the Omani national framework. I am tapping into the practical part, the practical skill of that. And the reality of the fact is that conflict can happen. It can happen in a house, it can happen with your significant others, with spouses, in a workplace, outside. You go and buy something, groceries or anything, you have conflict. I want to remind you, robots do not have conflict yet. Maybe they will in the future. Maybe they're bumping into each other. They want to regulate lots of things. And I enjoyed the panel presentation of one of the people. They have a team of robots. And I was like, wow, this is really amazing. Okay, now, here it is. What kind of type of conflict we're talking about? I want you guys to remember, when we have a conflict, we're going to understand what kind of conflict we're going to have in our life. And the reality of the life is really getting difficult day after another. Don't ever think that robots is going to really make your life easy. In fact, is going to, push a lot of, challenges into your life. And employees, they have a lot of conflict. So one type of conflict here is we're talking about in general. It's called the intrapersonal. And the intrapersonal conflict, think about it. It's our conflict from the inside. It's us having a conflict with ourselves. And all the time, we think and we say to ourselves, we make a decision today. Remember the quote? It's our decision that determine the quality of our life. Guess what? If we make a decision and we always say to ourselves, did I make the right choice or not? Did I do things right or not? Am I going to do well because I made the decision or not? And the reality is that we're having a conflict. I withdrew cash from my bank account and I was like, okay, am I going to take this 500 out of my bank account, out of my saving? And is that going to determine how am I going to survive for the next month or the existing month? So this is the intrapersonal that happens all inside us, okay? And I want you to think of the other type of conflict, which is a second type, is the interpersonal conflict. The interpersonal conflict that happens in teams. You want to implement technology on robots? Guess what happens? People are going to resist it. One person is going to say yeah, the other person is going to say no, and the reality is that it's going to create a conflict. So the interpersonal conflict is it happens among teams. Could be one team, could be among different teams. Now, the third part is called the functional conflict. Believe it or not, it's still considered in the social science as one type of conflict. But guess what? Functional is a positive type of conflict. I come in with an idea, somebody else is going to build up on it. I say blue, you say yellow, I say green, you say orange, and it's like, okay, well, let's have all of this all together, and we make some mix. The fourth type is called the intra-group. The intra-group, think about it. The board of directors meeting, they know expanding to another country, a company in Oman, you want to take it outside of the borders to make it a multinational organization. Guess what happens? One team is going to say yes, and the feasibility study says no, don't expand yet. We're not there yet. And the other team will sit down on the other side of the table, and they will say, oh no, why is this? And then the other team is going to say, yes, we're going to expand. And in reality of that, that's what happens in the other group, right? Now, the last type of conflict is the intrapersonal or intra-group personal, okay? Guess what happens with this conflict? There's two types of teams, and I categorize it in my book as, it's called an in-group and outer-group, but I call it gang in and gang out. You're in my team, and guess what happens? You are my friend, and I love you for that, and I'm going to support you all the time. But if you're not in my team, you know what? You're outside. And that's what happens. Teams, marketing team can have a conflict with the sales team. Sales team, they want to sell products. And guess what? The production team is really not ready there yet, right? For the production. And the conflict will happen all the time. Now, the reality of the fact is that what's the effect of conflict on our life? You guys ready for some data? Let me see your faces. I can see you guys still. The cameraman is doing really a good job. So don't ever give me, okay, I like that smile. Here we go. Based on the Harvard Review study of the 2019, and I'm going to piggyback on this, probably academia, they're not going to really like that. Okay. Guess what happens here? 2019 study, they said the interpersonal conflict, it has a 34%. All right. So people are fighting. Teams are fighting and they're having conflict. We're not talking about robots yet. And go back to the Omani framework of future skills. This is listed under the practical skills, right? The next highest percentage is 28% is management practices, right? Poor working conditions can be abuse of the behavior of employees and management leadership. Guess what? Why? The world around us is really, really, really not doing well. Conflict happens among countries. Conflict happens among employees. Leaders in organization are having conflict with their employees. Any idea what's the reason why people having a conflict all the time?
Because they're people.
The people, and guess what? Leadership plays a major role, and it's listed under the Omani Future Skills Framework, and I love it. And you guys are doing awesome. You guys are amazing. You're doing really taking the lead across the Middle East by setting the future skills for the rest of the MENA region. Right now, harassment. I want you to look at harassment, bullying coworkers, and tell them, for example, somebody is eating in a workplace, and tell them, "Wow, this is a healthy food," and probably is not healthy, but that's bullying in a workplace. And believe it or not, bullying, it happens all the time. Discrimination is a big factor. It's still happening. No matter how much you try to fight it, and the reality of the fact, you can testify for this. You got a woman who is really much more talented than a man, so well educated, a lot of experiences, and guess what? The men still get paid high. Now tell me,
why doctor is this? Why is it this way? Why is it that the man gets paid more?
It's discrimination in the workplace. The woman is more talented and the man is not going to take it. It's a macho behavior culture. And the Middle East is a macho behavior culture. This is changing. It's really changing, but it's going to take a long time. Take an example of the United States. We have a lot of statements saying, we're fighting discrimination in the workplace, and a lot of organizations fighting the discrimination in the workplace. They're not there yet. The problem is that there's a lot of discrimination happening. That's why you find a glass ceiling is not over yet. And these are all management practices and concepts for those who are heading faculty and they are in management practices or leading organization. The last factor I want to talk about, employee turnover. The problem is that is a 10%, but any turnover of your employees is really poor when it reaches the 2%. And guess what happens? Guys, don't let your employees go away. You are training them. You're spending a lot of efforts and time and energy on them. Guess what happens? When somebody leaves, they leave because they are not happy. And a lot of people really don't think about it. Guess what happens? They're not going to stay. And leaders play a major factor. Leaders are the cause for all of what happens of the employees turnover, high turnover or low turnover, name it. So you are all responsible, and you are all responsible, and you are all responsible for what is happening in the turnover industry, right? Now, let's move forward here. How do we combat that conflict? It's a combat, and I use a military term, combat, because we need to reduce it. We need to combat it. And the reality of the fact here, number one factor here is communication. We did not communicate with each other. We use technology. You got spouses, they have a lot of conflict in the house. And the reason why they can't figure out why they're fighting, significant others, right? Or you got a conflict among employees because they don't talk. Second part is active listening. Guys, men, we are terrible in listening. And I got to tell you, I'm sorry, guys, all the men around here in this room, including myself, we're not good listeners. No matter how much we spend a lot of efforts and time, you got to spend a lot of time to develop such kind of stuff. So listening to understand is not the same like listening to speak. And there is really a thin line between those. And everybody claims, yeah, I'm a good listener. And they're showing their muscles, whether men or women. And guess what? Women are much better at listening than their counterparts as males. Now, the third part I'm going to talk about is training. If you don't know how to train your employees how to handle conflict and bring fun in the workplace, guess what? You're going to stay behind, and you're going to have a lot of people what? Leaving you. Goodbye. You're losing your employees. Your turnover is an important factor. You guys have to look at it. I'm going to conclude with 3 factors, guys. 3 factors. Compromise, faith, and believe. I'm going to repeat. Compromise, faith, and believe. Compromise with the people around you. Compromise with your employees. Compromise with anybody that you want to have in conflict, and take a breath and then say, you know what? Take a moment, pause. Take a breath, inhale and exhale, usually 3 times is really the normal thing, and say, is it worth it? And we're talking about compromise for real. Faith. Have faith in them. They will have faith in you back. And remember, have faith in the people, whether they are really young graduates, new employees joining your organization. They have experience and no experience. And guess what? Have faith in them so they can have faith in you. And the last thing is that believe. Believe in the people in your circle. Believe in yourself. Give them an opportunity. If you believe in them, they will believe in you back. And believe me, it is reality. Last thing, but not least, I gotta tell you, I am the president of the National Leadership Association. Feel free to visit us on the www.nationalleadershipassociation.org. Subscribe to the newsletter, right? And then we get update on weekly basis. These are my 2 books that I publish, which is one is here. We can ship anywhere around the world, right? And this leadership is one and only title in the world. And the reality of that, you're gonna love this book. The second book is talking about strategy, entrepreneurship, and leadership, and it's coming in 5 volumes altogether, talking about SMEs, including the most innovative and creative businesses from the UAE. And hopefully we can take that into and taking the lead in Oman and collaborating with you. One more thing, guys, I just want to tell you here, we talked about earlier about critical thinking and problem solving. Guess what? My dissertation was leadership and critical thinking and higher education. And I worked with and still working with the top, most significant, prominent people in the field of critical thinking. Reality of the fact here, we all are responsible for that. We're not really yet there in a critical thinking. But I'm so happy that seeing Oman is taking the lead in critical thinking. Guys, if you have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer. Much love to you. I'm done with my presentation. Please feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn under dr.dr.alexjones, PhD. I'm going to repeat, dr.dr.alex, A-L-E-X, Jones, J-O-N-E-S, PhD. And I would be really happy to connect with some of you. Have a wonderful day. Much love to you, Oman. And if I'm given a choice to retire for the rest of my life, I will choose Oman for sure, with no brainer. I'm choosing Oman over California even, believe it or not. So hopefully to connect with all of you guys. And if you have any questions, I'm here and happy to answer any of your questions.
Thank you, Dr. Alex Jones.
My pleasure.
Yeah, how many of you in the audience would like to have Dr. Alex Jones come physically to our next conference? All of you.
I can see the hands. Why are you not telling them? How many of you would like to give me an offer similar to the previous people that you said that to them? You're not saying that to me. I'm heartbroken right now. I'm just kidding.
Doctor, the guys who can give the offer were in the morning time. So when you come here, you'll have an offer.
I blame you for not scooting me over there in the morning session, but it's all good.
Yeah, no, we'll reach the message because the recording will go to the people who were there in the morning who can afford you.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
Doctor, can you
Any
say
questions,
something?
guys?
Say I'm awesome.
You are awesome, and you guys are
No,
all
no, no. Say
awesome.
I am awesome. Say that you are awesome.
I am awesome. You are awesome. All of us here are awesome. Okay.
Thank you so much, Dr.
Yes.
Alex. That was really wonderful. Mashallah, you have a lot of energy. You have a persona. You dressed up very well. You have a great background. We didn't expect this from our, I don't know what to say. Usually we see academic people as a lot of books, a lot of information, but you have a different person and outlook. So that's really good. We would definitely would like to have you, Dr. Alex, for our next conference. I have Amar, my CEO here. So yes, we would like to have you here. And what I want to ask is, if anybody here has a question for Dr. Alex, please ask. This is an opportunity to understand a bit more of what he has said. You can put your hands up and ask any questions to Dr. Alex.
I have one question, Dr. Alex.
Sure.
The way you spoke, everyone really enjoyed it, and you had so much energy. And you were talking kind of about all the negatives that working with people includes and comes with, whereas with robots, we won't have any of these issues. But will we get bored working with robots? Do they have any personality? How can we kind of have a good working relationship and high quality of life when we start to work with robots?
That's a great question. Where are the IoT people, the Internet of Things people? Probably they can help me in here. I'm a soft skills guy. I'm a social scientist. I'm a PhD in leadership. Guess what? Everything rise and fall on leadership. Are we going to have these robots, you know, feeling us? Yeah, they're developing that. And as a matter of fact, actually, they're developing robots to feel us and connect with us. But I'm sorry to say it in the opposite way, guys, and kind of like go the opposite direction. Nothing and nothing and nothing can substitute the human being. Guess what? A robot cannot do what I am able to do, maybe one day. And guess what? If I'm not able to listen to you well, you know, and then connect with you, and that touch of a human being cannot be lost. Yes, there will be jobs going away, and that's what we talked about. There will be jobs created at the same time, but I really doubt that human being is going to go away, because our feelings, when we feel mad, sad, happy, joy, and fulfillment and achievement, robots, no matter how much you program it, it's not going to reach a level that who we are. We are a masterpiece of the universe you are in. Is basically God created you in a way that nobody can create a replica of you. Think about it this way. You are one of a kind. There is no copy of you no matter what happens. And I see a lot of people, for example, they're worried of giving their presentation or handouts, and they don't want to give the information. They just want to keep it. And so, you know, why do I have to share? Why do I have to give it? It's my own. No, just give it. Give it, be a giver. And then I don't think robots will be able to do that, because we have a soft heart when we need to be, and we have a cold heart when we need to be. So robots are programmed. We are not programmed. We can be happy in 1 minute, and we can be sad in the second minute. So I hope I answer your question. It's a great question, by the way. I really like it. And a lot of research, by the way, from academia, it needs to be invested in what you asked.
Dr. Alex, I have one question for you. You teach entrepreneurship at the university. Do you teach that to robots? Can robots become entrepreneurs?
That's a beautiful question. The question is here, we should ask ourselves, can we teach entrepreneurship to people to become an entrepreneur? If we're not able to master that on people, I tell my students all the time, whether on a master degree level, whether if I mentor PhD students back in the United States, or if I teach in undergrads, or if I train people here in organization, government, semi-government, private sectors, I tell them, I'm not here to make you an entrepreneur. we're not able, if I teach you an entrepreneurship in a course, that's not going to work. You're not going to graduate and become an entrepreneur because you took a course with a prominent professor, whether myself or anybody else, right? Or an expert at the top of the world. All the time when I speak with my mentors back in the United States, and I always have mentors in different fields, and I want you to encourage your students to have mentors. If we're not able to teach people how to do an entrepreneurship in a very skilled level, entrepreneurship is an intuition, is a thing that you want to do, be a risk taker and get out of your shell. You were talking this morning, I followed all the presentations today, and you guys are really amazing. Guess what? We were talking this morning about getting out of the box. There was a presentation, and the professor was saying, we're not teaching people how to get out of the box because I'm looking at the box, out of the box, in the box, out of the box. Is this what it is? No, we're not there yet. So, you know, in the year of 2006, when the literacy program of a reading program started in Oman, that faded away, and that broke my heart because we started it back in the days, right? And then I hope that really continue, because this morning you said reading is the beginning of the word of Quran, right? And guess what? You were really talking about it. And guess what happens? It faded away. We're talking about 2006, 2007, right? I would love to come back and implement something in that arena, whether it's leadership, organizational culture, strategic management, or entrepreneurship. And guess what? There's a lot to be done. There's a lot to be done. It's not like a magic wand. It's like that. So hopefully,
how can you teach us to read?
Okay. Well, that's a very interesting question. Do you know there are those people who are in the technology arena and Walmart? Do you know that there are so many tools nowadays for people who are not able to read? You just point the pointer or a pen on a page and they will read for you. And I think that is a wonderful creativity and innovation that really helps a lot of people who are not able to read. You ask a question, I guess yourself, and somebody has said, who's not able to read, right? It was a question that was asked this morning. And guess what? Whether we're reading or not, there are so many technology that really, tackling into that issue. How can I handle people how to read? I'm not the best person to answer this question, but I can tell you one thing. Start from the bottom. Start from the bottom. Literacy program, reading program starts from as early stages in a kid's life as you can see. And you got to implement it as early stages, and you got to continue on that. And leadership, youth leadership should be implemented in the early stages of a kid's life, right? As early as the kindergarten, the KGs, and you go all the way as you grow with them. There we go. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Alex. You praised Oman a lot and Omani people a lot, and I see you miss your previous experience of having worked here. So we do here also love Dubai, UAE, and it was the 50th National Day. I'm not sure. And there was a viral video of Steve Harvey. I don't know if you watched that. And he spoke about vision. And I also want to talk about another video which has gone viral because we have Prince Mohammed bin Salman of Saudi here in Oman, and his favorite project, NEOM. The CEO of NEOM, I think Jonathan, he spoke about two virtues of a leader. One is to communicate, which is to speak using verbal, technological, or any means of communicating to speak. One is to listen. So here I'm connecting the word read, speak, and listen. Do you have something to tell us about it?
Well, read, speak, and listen. Guess what? A lot of professors, a lot of speakers, they really have not mastered the skills of speaking. Speaking is a skill that you need to train your people. I've seen a lot of managers. I train a lot of people in the corporate world, and they are not up there to give them the buy-in. The buy-in is a process. You want to implement robotics models and technologies, you gotta have the speech that makes people convinced. You gotta get the buy-in. So that's speaking, and speaking to understand is different from speaking to listen. I'm just repeating this for the second time. The reason why, because there is a thin line, right? So read something, get that something. I'm a slow reader myself, and I'm not shy to say it. I used to be shy of saying it before, and guess what? I'm out there and I tell my student, guys, it's okay if you're not able to read. And most of the time, the generation of the day, they're not able to read, right? We're taking it on a student, population, a small population. And it's okay to tell them that it's okay if you're a slow reader. I'm a slow reader. I like to read, to understand. And once I understand, I will really remember it, not memorize it, but remember it. There is one word, one line that stays with you for life. So remember that one, remember that one, and remember that one for life. And guess what? Sometimes I want to say something very important here. Sometimes people say something to you and makes you feel terrible for the rest of your day, or for the rest of your weekend, or for the rest of your month or your life. Some word stays with people. It's all about what you say to people and how you treat them. So be careful with the word that you say to other people all the time. Be considerate, because words hurt. Words hurt people. So be considerate, be compassionate, be kind. Speaking out of your mind is not like speaking when you are in your mind. So take a break, come back, and revisit the things if you are having a bad day.
Thank you, Dr. Alex. If our colleagues here have any questions, any online questions, Sohail? Do the online audience have any question? Dr. Alex Jones, Assistant Professor of Leadership, Organizational Behavior, Strategic Management and Entrepreneurship at the College of Banking Business Administration at the American University of Emirates, Dubai. Thank you so much for being with us, for making it so lively at the end of the day. I think we are going to go back and we're going to remember this for today and until we meet you face to face. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you all of you for being here, and really appreciate what we have heard and seen. And I must say this as while we disconnect, you are a great listener. You listen to every single thing what happened in the conference without having been here. So I wish we all can learn something. And yes, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Much love to you, Oman, and much love to you, all of you Omanis. And you are awesome. Remember this all the time. Much love to you guys. From Dubai all the way.
We'll go and tell our family members you are awesome. We'll tell our friends, colleagues you're awesome.
Please
so we're going to do this for a month.
For the rest of your life.
Thank you so much.
Take care, guys.
Thank you. Yes, Amar, we have Amar, if you can. Yeah, we have some winners for those who stayed until the end of the day here face to face in spite of the road closures which happened today. And the rumors about the road closures due to the visit, the royal visit of the Saudi Crown Prince. We're going to give away. I would appreciate if all of you can put your business card or a paper with your name written in the bowl, and if we can have Amar to pick up the winner.
Okay, thank you everyone. All those who are remaining till the end of the day, you've shown your commitment and passion to learning about all the topics that we discussed today. And the recent session was about understanding future skills. So now it's time to pick the winners. There will be 2 winners from the people in the room, and there'll be 1 winner from online who will announce tomorrow once we've checked the data. So let's pick the first winner. Who's going to do the picking? Yes. It's okay. It's okay. So the first one will be for free 2 weeks training at F45. Pretty tough workout. And the first winner is Yasser Al-Balushi. Tough task. Yes. But, relaxing. Tough task for anyone. Congratulations. Congratulations, yes, sir. And now is the winner for the visit to the submarine, the Muscat Yacht Club submarine. Hidayah Luati. Did you write her name or? Okay. You're very lucky man, yes? And the winner for the car service will be announced, who will be the winner, who we announce tomorrow for those of you remaining online. I think it was around 12 people who remained online. So thank you everyone for today. I hope you had a nice time. Please come and give us any feedback and comments that you may have, and we're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow again. Thank you everyone.